Hi there and welcome back to Valley por Vida. Now, as promised, we've got an all-new fun facts segment to tie into our new lip care knowledge from before the break. So let's go ahead and break down some interesting tidbits that maybe you never knew. All right, so according to MediaCore.com, all of our lips have what can be referred to as lip prints. It's in a similar way to our fingers. Just like our fingerprints are unique in nature and of course have a design unlike anyone else's, our lips are very distinct. The site says that even if all 7.8 billion of us did a lipstick print on a piece of paper or tissue, not one of us would have a print that looks like another. Super interesting. But that's not all. Check this out. Apparently, even though our lips are so unique, like our fingerprints, our lips are actually way more sensitive than our fingerprints. The site says that lips are actually 100 times more sensitive because they're made up of so many different nerve endings, and there's just no defensive membrane to protect them. For that reason, actually, babies and toddlers like to put everything in their mouths. I'm sure you've seen that. When our bodies are starting to develop at that young age, all of those nerve endings are felt. So putting gadgets and even their own fingers in there gives their nerve endings far more information than any other sense. And the site also outlines that our lips are also very unique in the fact that, unlike other body parts, they cannot sweat. See, our lips do not sweat, or they don't have any sweat or oil glands, so you'll never ever get sweaty there, but it also means that they're more prone to dryness. You know, chapped lips. I mean, we've all been there, right? But of course, you can just make sure to drink plenty of water and use a clean lip balm like we talked about in the segment earlier. And of course, apply SPF lip care products to protect your lips from the natural sunlight rays that you may be exposed to on a daily basis. And lastly, get this, the other part of your body, the other parts usually have about 16 layers of cells underneath the outside parts of your epidermis. But as you might have guessed by now, our lips like to play by a different set of rules. According to the site, it turns out that our lips are incredibly thin, with only 3 to 6 layers of cells underneath. In fact, there are so few layers that the blood vessels in that area turn our lips a more rosy pink or reddish looking color from the outside, distinguishing it from other skin parts. But just because we don't have that many nerve endings in our lips, it doesn't mean that we're lacking in blood vessels there. Our body is made up of so many different blood vessels, so much so in fact that our blood regenerates, allowing us to do things like donate whole blood to save lives of other people. And if you haven't done so already, and you're willing and you're able to, then go ahead and take a look at what our friends over at Vitalant have to say about why it's beneficial, why it feels good, and how it can help those in our community as well as throughout the world.
Barset, Regional Director for Vitalant, and we are here today to talk about the collections here at the McAllen Center, and we have a Harlingen Center as well. But this is where we collect blood for patients in the hospitals. And at a neighborhood of about 1,500 units every month for the hospitals we serve in the Rio Grande Valley. Yeah, there's always a need for blood at the hospitals. So it doesn't matter what time of the year. Some years are harder to get. Vacation times, the summer times are a little harder. When we have holidays, people are on holiday, yeah, we struggle a little bit during those times. But throughout the year, the need is there. Patients are having surgery, we have emergencies, newborns all the time that require blood. So we need every donor out there in this valley to come in and help us. Well, there's multiple components that are required by patients. Okay, they need red cells, they may need platelets, they may need cryoprecipitate, it's another product. They may need convalescent plasma, which is something that is urgently needed right now with the COVID. But yes, we collect all different kinds of products, and all needed only can be donated by a live donor, right? It can't be made at a factory like a Tylenol. It's got to come from a volunteer, a good-hearted volunteer that comes in and donates blood. A donor, minimal age, of course, is 16, with parental permission to donate. And the upper age limit, there is none. As long as your doctor is okay with you to donate. We've had donors up to 105 years in Canada that donated, I don't know how many hundreds of units. So it doesn't matter on the upper end. As long as you're generally in good health when you come in, you don't have a flu, you haven't had surgery, you don't, all of those things. There'll be a questionnaire that we go through, an interview with you, and then if you qualify, after we do a little mini physical as well, if you qualify, then we collect your blood or your component. We just need them to think about giving the gift of life, and it doesn't cost them anything other than the time they come in to donate. So we encourage that. We need everybody out there that has a good heart to come in and help us for that patient.
They've got 2 Valley locations, one in McAllen and one here in Harlingen, so that donating to help save lives is easier for you to go make an appointment. It's good to know that places like that exist and that we can do something to help others. That's also the mentality of our friends over at South Texas Health System. We actually had the chance to catch up with them for some insight into strokes, for some awareness knowledge to keep in mind in today's health check.
About 795,000 Americans have a new or recurrent stroke each year, and it is also the leading cause of preventable disability in the United States. It is important that we raise awareness about stroke so that the community knows what to look out for, what to manage in order to prevent stroke. Stroke is treatable. There are treatments and medications that we can use to minimize the outcome of stroke or the impact of stroke. And however, time is of the essence. If we know what to look out for, the signs and symptoms, by remembering the acronym BFAST. BFAST stands for B is for balance, for watch out for loss of balance or difficult dizziness or headache. E is for eyes, watch out for vision loss or blurring. F is for facial drooping, watch out for any uneven smile. A is for arm weakness or leg weakness. S is for speech, watch out for or listen for slurring of speech or difficulty. And T is for time. Call 911 right away if you experience any of those signs and symptoms. And please remember not to drive yourself to the hospital. Activating 911 can get you the immediate assistance that you need, alerting the healthcare professionals in the hospital. Remember, time is free. The longer you wait, 2 million neurons each minute dies the longer we wait for treatment. And so we only have a limited time window to give you the treatment that you need. We have medications that can bust the clot, or we can go up to the brain with a catheter to remove that clot. But you only have that golden window to come. And so knowing the signs and symptoms right away and calling 911 can help you and your outcome. For more information, please visit southtexashealthsystem.com or American Stroke Association.
Like she said, you can visit their website for more info. It's on screen right now, and for other health check tips. All right, well, that's all we've got for now. Thanks again for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again next time because we'll have a lot more in store for you, as always, on Valley por Vida. We'll see you then.